Hello friends and welcome to the first episode of the Combat Mentors Guide for Beginners in Final Fantasy XIV. In today's video we're going to be looking specifically into your character's configuration so that we can help you set up your movement types, your targeting filters, your hotbars, and also a few other quality of life that will help you out later in the game whenever you are leveling up, going through the main quest, or even doing an event. So without further ado, let us begin. First thing we're gonna do, of course, open your menu, go into the character's configuration, and we're gonna start from the very beginning. I already had everything set up by default, so that if you're especially a new player, this is how it's gonna be looking, with the exception of the hotbars, but I will be walking you through that at the very end, so do not worry about that. The first thing we're gonna be looking is the movement settings. We have a standard type and legacy type. The main difference between these two is gonna be your movement whenever you're going backwards. And this is what I mean. When you have it on standard type, because it is character based, your character is gonna be walking backwards if you press your back button. However, if we switch it up to legacy type, your character is gonna be running backwards right away. Meaning that in this game, which the main mechanic or gimmick is always gonna be your movement, you would like to have this set up at least for Legacy, that way you could have a better mobility on the arena of certain boss or dungeon depending where you are. The other topic that I would like to get us in contact or touch with is gonna be the cutscene skipping. This is the part that I mentioned that will help you while leveling, because in this game, if you're brand new, you may not know this, but every time that you get into a dungeon for the first time, you're gonna watch a cutscene, like an introduction of how the entire instance is looking like. But with these options enabled, what it's gonna do is that on your first run, it will be the same. You will see the cutscene unless you wanna skip it. And when you get into the same instance for the second time, instead of you having to skip that cutscene manually, the game will do it for you automatically. You won't need to touch anything to do that. So that could save you and your party members a little bit of time, so it doesn't hurt to have that enabled for the time being. The other topic that I wanted to reach is gonna be when I mention going through your main quest or when you're going through a new event. And the quest progression settings is what is gonna help us with this. So by enabling this option, what it's gonna do, it is that whenever, let's say, there is a new event happening, you will always see a lot of people. Picture that this is the NPC. There's gonna be a lot of people surrounding this NPC, and you're gonna have a bad time trying to just get in contact with the NPC to begin the quest. So with this option, it's gonna clear as many, if not all, of the players surrounding that NPC, and you can just talk with them and keep on going with your business. So that's how that we're gonna be looking on the general setting. Let's just apply this right away and move into target. On target, we're going to be looking into three specific settings that we want to change. First one is this: auto target according to priority. What does this mean? So I have the option disabled. I'm going to be pressing this skill that I have over here, and as you can see, it's not going to do anything. Whenever we enable this, however, it's going to target the striking dummy right away, meaning that we're going to be able to just target any enemy. Say you're in the open world, there is suddenly an enemy that aggroed you. Instead of having to target it manually, you just press the button and you're already into it. The other information that we're going to change is switch it from line of sight to the closest range, because naturally you would like to target the enemy that is the closest to you, so that's what this option is going to be doing. Target type, we're going to keep it as it is, because if you put it on cone, for example, here's a striking dummy. Oh, that didn't work as I expected. Let me switch that up real quick. Now it's better. So as you see, because it is not within a cone of my line of range, it's not gonna happen. But if I switch it to ignore depths, it's gonna target the dummy right away. That's the second thing that we wanted to keep in mind that you have set up correctly. And the last one is going to apply mainly if you're playing healers like White Mage, Astrologian, Scholar, or Ninja, and it is the ground targeting settings. So what we're gonna be doing here, it is, if you take a look at this skill, this allows Ninja to teleport. So I'm gonna do this. As you can see, if it is still within the yellow range or the yellow circle, that means that I can teleport there. But if I try to do it over here when the circle is purple, it's not going to allow me. So what this option do, it is that it's going to limit the range. You can see my mouse is all the way back here, but the ring, it is still way closer than where my cursor is. So if I just click it, it's going to teleport immediately. The same goes to the bubble skills from Scholar and so on. Now the other option that I personally like, if you don't find this comfortable, you can just click it, it's fine. It is press the action twice to execute. So I have this skill on my T keybind, so I'm just gonna double tap T and it's gonna teleport right away. This helps a lot whenever you're greeting on any boss fight and you just want to teleport back right away at the very last second so that you can get the maximum DPS input. Highlight potential target, I personally like it, it just highlights the enemy as you can see over here with this yellow glow around them. This is not really important, but if you're a little bit dumb like me and you like to see this, you can apply it, there is no problem with that. The other thing that we're gonna move in here is gonna be into mouse. So of course, if you're playing on a gamepad or console, sorry, I cannot really help you there. But for those mouse and keyboard boomers, what we're gonna be enabling here, it is these two options. You're gonna disable the right click selection of player characters and disable right click selection of minions. The reason we're doing this, it is because there is not a worse feeling than you hitting the boss and with right click, you're gonna be moving your camera, right? So let's say that you accidentally right click on the player that is by your side. What the game is gonna do is this, you're pressing your button and then you're gonna target that player. So you're gonna see invalid target all the way here because you're not targeting the boss, you're targeting a party member or yourself. So that's why we're gonna be enabling these options right away. The next topic is a quality of life, totally non-combat related, but it is based on your inventory. So the normal inventory in Final Fantasy XIV, it looks like this. It is just a little block with 4 different slots. Now, if you like it this way, that's perfect. But the other options will be the following. With Expanded, you will see 2 inventory slots, and then you have another page that you can turn into, and you will see the other half of your inventory. This one is the most that you can amplify to your retainer, as you can see over here. But for the player, you have this one, the first option, and the last one that I'm gonna show you right now. And it is the full inventory. I personally like it most this way, but as I mentioned, this is just a quality of life. If you already have it set up on a way that you find it comfortable, you can do it. Another quick detail in this regard, it is the field tabs in order. So as you can see, I'm gonna sort everything out and it's gonna be looking like this. I'm just gonna fill out the first, second, third, and fourth inventory as soon as it can, and it's gonna leave the last slots available. But if we sort items into section based on category, let me undo, and now if we sort it out, it's gonna have this slot over here, because here I have my triple triad cards and the orchestrions available, but the rest is just gonna sort out on its own. So you can keep it however order you would like the most. I just personally keep it like this, so we're gonna keep it like that. Moving along into the UI settings, we're gonna be looking here real quick in HUD. The only options that I would recommend removing, and this depends on which level you are already. If you're brand new, you want to keep your XP bar available because you want to see how more you're progressing in level, how close you are to level up. So this is always going to help a lot. But if you're like myself, which you have level 100 in pretty much every combat job, ignore this one, then you're not gonna need this. So you can just remove it and save yourself a few slots in your UI. Let's say you want to place your limit break over here, you can do it. The other thing that I personally dislike, it is the inventory grid, which is this little block over here. So you can remove it by disabling this option, and as well you will have a few more slots available for you to input something, let's say like a hotbar like this one, your party list. You can do whichever you want, of course, as long as you find it comfortable. Now the default options only provide you with your local time. I personally would just recommend this. It's not too mandatory, to be honest with you, to set up the user time and server time. This works the most if you are, this is mostly for gathering, and I know that this is a combat guide, but these first 2 episodes are more like how to sort things out to however you find it the most comfortable, you know? So if you enable this, the Ursa tank will help a lot if you're gathering because of some specific nodes that appears after 2 hours each one, that you can hunt them down. The server time can also work for a few events, or even when the server is saying like we're gonna go on maintenance, and you can see which hour they are talking about. So you can keep this enabled or disabled, it's completely up to you. On the party list, the only option that I feel like it is important, combat related, it is the status effect icon. So you will want to set it up to 10, because there are fights where everything goes depending on how many buffs or on which buffs or debuffs you and your party members have. That way you can go like in a certain priority. This is why you would like to have this up. Otherwise, if you have it on 5 only, I'm gonna switch to Sage real quick just to show you how it looks like. So let's get back to 5. Let me get Sage, here we are. So I'm just gonna buff myself for absolutely no reason, don't mind me. As you can see, I only have 5 buffs over here. So if there is like a mechanic where you have a buff that you need to look, you will not be able to see it. Now with this option expanded, you can see as many buffs as you have, and it could also help you keep on track on whichever your ally have a doom in case you're playing healer and you need to dispel it, and that many other stuff like that. So I don't want to load a lot of information into your minds. It's just so that you can be a little bit aware of what I'm talking about when I say that this is needed. You don't need to have this enabled, I just show it to you guys so you can see how the buffs are looking. You can enable it or disable it, it's up to you. This party list sorting, it all depends on how you look at it. For example, if I'm playing healer, the party list, I'm gonna be on the top, and then I'm gonna see the 2 tanks, the other healer, and the 4 DPAs. This is what the order means. So if you're like myself, would you like to see the 4 DPAs on top because I'm playing DPAs, then the healers and tank, you can set it up like this and there is absolutely no problem. Display name settings. We're just gonna be looking into general settings here, and the reason we're doing that, it is for this reason exactly. Display class or job icons. This can help you a lot, especially if you're new to an instance and you are completely clueless. Don't feel bad, this happened to the best of us. And there are mechanics that are like support oriented. You're playing healer, you see your 2 tanks over here where the mouse is, and then you see the other healer over here, and you're here with the 4 DPAs. That could give you a clue that I need to move here for my own safety. And that is a quick way to notice where you need to be, or if there is a tank buster, so that you know that you need to be away from the tank. It can help you a lot. You can also sort the icon like this. You will not see the green icon depending on the role, but you can see the icon itself. Whichever works the best for you, you can enable it. The other option, this is completely quality of life. It is choosing the color of your role members, meaning tanks are normally blue on your party, but if you have this set up to yellow, the name on your tank, like my here, Ryusaki, is gonna be looking yellow if I will be a tank and you will be another player watching me, of course. I just like to keep it the way it is, but this is just for you guys to have a few other options available if you like that or not. And now the last part that I promised that I will talk with you guys. Hotbars. So normally by default, I'm gonna disable all of them except the 6th, because if I remove this, it's gonna look huge over here and it's gonna look horrendous. So I'm gonna disable 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and they're normally set up with this option, so I can look like this, with the exception of 9 and 10. So your normal hotbar is gonna be looking like this, and you can enable them in this option. There is another way to do it, but I'm gonna talk about that on the next episode. So if you enable this, you're gonna have your 3rd hotbar, and if you enable this, as you may already know, it's gonna enable every other hotbar that you're missing. So I just have this set up this way. It is my preference. Everything over here that you're seeing, guys, it is based on preference. So if you feel like some of these options that I'm pointing out to you is not useful to you, that is completely fine. You don't need to worry about that. You can keep it as it is. Just try to find the more comfortable option for you. Now, one big option, and thankfully this is a quality of life that was added thanks to our fallen modders who got banned before Square Enix applied this as an official feature in the game. And we're talking about the buff counter. What does this mean? Take a look right here. As you can see, I use this buff, Crashes, on myself. And if you look at the bottom left, there is the small timing over here saying 50 seconds, now 49. If I enable this option into center, it's gonna look way bigger. Meaning that if you're new to a fight or to a class and you're not familiar with the cooldowns, you will be able to see it way better over here, and this will help you a lot to keep on track on the cooldown and what is happening on the fight itself. So I will 100% recommend have that option enabled. The other options over here that you can take a look, it all depends on you, honestly. Like, for example, hide the unassigned bar. I don't have any over here, but if I switch back to Ninja, I believe, yeah. As you can see with Ninja, I have these slots available. I don't use Ninja too many, don't judge me. But if I remove this, it's just gonna look clean. The other thing that you can do is display the hotbar numbers, like this giant number over here. You can remove it if you find it a little bit annoying or tedious. And the last topic that we're gonna reach out for today, sharing. Your shared hotbars are absolutely important. Why? Because as you notice, this giant bar over here and these ones that I have, they didn't change whether if I was playing Ninja or Sage. That is because I have them set up to be shared with all of my jobs or classes. So if you want to play, let's say you only play 4 jobs. You play Paladin, you play Sage, you play Ninja, and you play Black Mage. You just want to put these 4 over here, and instead of having to go all the way here, look into your gear list, switch to Paladin, you can just click it here, and it's gonna be easier. So, at the moment guys, that will be all that I needed to share with you when it comes to be related to the character's configuration settings. The next episode we're gonna be talking about keybinds, a few that I find easy to be replaced, and also the HUD layout so that you can fix the little mess that Square Enix have set up for default on your game, and you can have a more spacious gameplay like the one that I have in my opinion. So, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. This is the average YouTube sellout. I'm really bad for this, honestly, so sorry if I was beyond cringe. I am on the Crystal Data Center, so it flows in my vein. But, as you may know, if you find this helpful, please like the video. If you find this useful to a new player or someone who is already playing but would like to edit their options a little bit, feel free to share it with them or with your group of friends. That'll be more than helpful enough. If you have any feedbacks, whether if it is from the way that I made the video of how much I am yapping, feel free to drop it on the comments below. And if you're looking forward to any future episodes that I'm looking to release, then please drop a subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful day, afternoon, evening. You get the drill. See ya.